So, welcome everyone. And because we have a very international audience, so I have to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, just to make sure that like we covered everywhere. And also, I really would like to thank both Anna and Gabriel for giving us their time. And we only have 20 minutes, and we're going to talk about how municipalities are supporting the startup ecosystems and what startups need to know about it. So it's a very big topic. We're going to cover three, hopefully, major startup hubs. So I'm not going to take too much time on, let's just say, talking about things other than the main topic. And I would start with, let's just say, Anna to introduce herself and her organization, and then we start from there.
Yeah, sounds great, Ahmad. Thank you. Thank you for the little introduction about the theme. So my name is Anna, and I'm a tech associate at TNW, the Next Web. I'm not sure how many of you know about it, but most of the people that know about it is due to the event. So we have a flagship event that takes place in Amsterdam, but we also do other things. So the event started 15 years ago, and after that, the founders decided to grow the services that we offer to startups a lot. And now we're not only doing the event, but also we have a media platform where we share tech articles. We have 3 co-working spaces in Amsterdam with a super cool and nice vibe. And the last kind of pillar that we have, it's for open innovation, and we call TNW programs. And this open innovation is working together with corporates, governments, and investors to try to solve their challenges and help them fund startups and scale ups so that they can both be benefited from that. So that's a little bit what I do from my department. So currently we're working with big corporates. We're working with the Dutch government as well. We're also working with the European Union in Horizon 2020 funded programs. So it's really cool, very hectic work and an ecosystem, of course, as you might know already. And yeah, there, what I do principally is just I'm trying to connect and find cool startups and scale ups and support them as much as possible when collaborating with governments and corporates.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank
Gabriel?
you.
Yeah, thank you. I share my screen because I've prepared something for you. Welcome also from my side. I hope you see my screen now. I'm Director of Startup Services at the Vienna Business Agency, and the Vienna Business Agency really tries to support international but also Viennese startups and companies. And we do that through real estates. We do that through services like Founders Labs, Co-Creation Labs, and other programs. And we also give grants to international but also to Viennese startups and companies who want to implement their project in Vienna. The startup city, Vienna, has a very good access to public and private funding, and you have a very good opportunity to grow internationally. And I would say we also have a quite welcoming and supporting startup ecosystem. And if you would like to get in touch with us, there are calls and competitions open just now. You can see at the website where you can connect with the different actors here in the city. And we are also in a very strong international network with several startup cities around the world in order to, use synergies and to help startups and each other. And the best possibility to connect with this vibrant startup ecosystem is Vienna Up, taking place very soon. We call it the most authentic startup experience because it's not done by us. We at the Vienna Business Agency are just curating the whole event. It's more than 40 program partners, national and international ones, who have different events going on for corporates, investors, startups, and talents in different fields of topics, so like health tech, life science, social entrepreneurship, smart city, green tech, creative industries, fintech, and so on and so on. So please, if you're interested to connect with these topics and different actors internationally, look at Vienna Up.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I can also see that you push your branding behind you, so people are still going to have the reminder to run. And especially with the unicorn in the background. So that's to definitely draw a lot of attention on that one. Also, just to explain a little bit about myself. So I'm the country manager of a company called 33. So we basically do digital product development. And I'm also the director of a startup grind that, let's just say, we are the biggest community of entrepreneurs globally. And one of the things that I always try to do is to try to connect startups and corporations and then try to somehow add some value. Also, Anna mentioned about the next web and how complicated, let's just say, this brand is. I also wanted to tell you another fun fact, and it's also the fact that I was basically running as like a country manager or something on the index.co. So that was also another project by the next web that were basically somehow connecting the startup ecosystem. Good idea. To be honest, the only problem that we had back then was that you had to log in with Twitter. And in Central Europe, most of the startups did not have a Twitter account, so it was really hard to really. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, that was a very good idea. Just to just to add one more brand to the next web. Yeah. Also, I always say Patrick and Boris, they're the coolest guys when it comes to influencing. So like, just as a role model for a lot of other people. Let's just start with three different cities: Warsaw, Vienna, and Amsterdam. So I started the first time with Anna. This time I'm going to start with Gabriel. Like, how do you really define the Vienna's startup ecosystem and how the, let's just say, municipality is somehow supporting startups?
Mhm. So we are in very regular contact with all the main stakeholders here in the city, and it's really that we have a lot of cooperations going on in order to support individual initiatives to come up and really to grow. We have this funding structure, as I've mentioned, where we doubled also the money over the last year. So it's really several millions we are giving here to initiatives, to companies in order to grow. And we also really try very strategically to connect internationally and also to attract international startups with our Vienna Startup Package. It's a global competition and we invite startups here, and we have shorter programs with our Discover Vienna programs. And we really see that connecting also the Viennese startups and Austrian startups with international ones and versa is really a huge benefit for both sides. And this is where we see our main task really to, on the one hand, foster initiatives coming out of the community, connect them, and also trying to do our international work in order to improve also the quality and the system here in Vienna. So it's both sides.
Okay, very good. And Anna?
Yeah, well, first of all, I wanted to highlight, that the governments, I think a little bit in general, but also in Amsterdam, they entered a little bit later on. So they were kind of the last ones to join the tech innovation party. So as an example, we were born 15 years ago, and then the main municipality startup Amsterdam was just created 6 years ago. So it's true that the private sector kind of lead a little bit the way, but once that the public sector municipalities got in, it just got crazy. So their funding is just higher than most of the private businesses. So of course, this high budget together with the high kind of influence that they have in main stakeholders, I think it puts the public sector and municipalities in a main position, so in the center of the ecosystem. And especially in these times, supporting a lot of startups with the during the crisis, and startups that are very important for the economy. So especially in Amsterdam, I think they have been focusing a lot from the governmental side to grow, as Gabriel was saying as well, the both sides of the startups, so the homegrown startups, but also to bring foreign startups as much as possible. And they have put efforts in networking events, in funding, in subsidies, in creating hubs, in all this kind of activities. So of course that has had a huge impact, and also with soft landing programs to attract this this foreign startups. So this has made a huge impact, as I was saying, in the economy. So I think in the last years, 77,000 of jobs were created. 43,000, I think it was, from the homegrown, and 34,000 from the foreign startups. So as Gabriel was saying, it's very important to take into account both sides, the homegrown and and the ones that come from the outside, because of course that is going to open the culture and it's going to improve the talent coming to the city. So all this is going to affect other things like the talent retention, or the making the city a nice place to live and to stay, culturally open and with a lot of leisure activities and all these things, that in the end is also not only going to bring startups and talent, but also the corporate side. It's also very important for the ecosystem to grow.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Gabriel
Maybe
wants to
I
add
can add something, because what came into my mind now is also that we are also looking where is a market failure. So where is something missing the market does not provide. For example, we just opened a co-working space with a laboratory infrastructure for life science startups, because we saw we have many startups in that field, but they cannot get this infrastructure in an affordable way. And so we built this laboratory infrastructure with co-working, and we're full already. So it's also that we really try to go into the fields where the market does not provide the infrastructure necessary in order to have a growing ecosystem here.
Of
This is
course.
just one example also
Yeah.
where we try to improve the
Great.
infrastructure.
I mean, I'm also going to go a little bit back into my history classes, but just want to make sure. So, Gabriel, Vienna does not have a monarchy anymore, right? So it collapsed.
Yes.
Yes, just want to make sure, because one of the things that I also want to say that makes Anna a bit more special is that I even saw that not only municipality, but even like you had guests from the royal family, and that also let us say bring things into the whole different perspective. You know that not only you have the support of municipality, but also the monarchy, and that
yeah,
somehow shows how important startups are for the whole country.
yeah, exactly. Referring to that, I think you're talking about Tech Leap, so one of the
Yeah.
biggest agencies that we have there. I think last 4 years, or from 2019 to 2023, they have had not only difference, but also I think funding of 65 million euros, which is a lot of money compared to what private can bring. So as I said, a lot of influence there to keep on supporting the Amsterdam ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, another thing I can also add, especially because I'm based in Warsaw, Poland, is it's really not clear for a lot of people how much the municipality supported startups in Warsaw. Because the first acceleration program in Warsaw was started with the support of the municipality called Warsaw Accelerator. That city of Warsaw was the biggest sponsor. Even the event Wolf Summit, the reason that it was organizing in Warsaw, I mean, because of this pandemic, we had to move to Wrocław for this edition, but for the past 4 or 5 years, again, was due to the support of the municipality. And one thing that a lot of people don't really understand is municipalities have a huge budget. And at the same time, the amount of the attention and the technological, let's just say, support that startups can bring to the city is something that hopefully most municipalities should know. And I can easily see that city of Warsaw understand the added value of that. So they have a huge venue that is always, let's just say, available for startups as long as, let's just say, they would have added value to that. They support acceleration programs and, let's just say, a lot of other facilities that they provide. And let's just say I try to put some examples into, let's just say, some projects. So maybe Anna and Gabriel, if you also try to have one very specific case that you have with the municipality as a success story, maybe we can also add that.
Yeah, Gabriel, go ahead, please.
Just want to raise one example. During the Vienna Up, for example, we have a Startup City Summit, a Smart City Summit, where we really included all the actors dealing with smart city integration in the city. And we also have now open a call, Discover Vienna Smart City, where international startups can apply, and we have all the actors and decision makers of the city on board in order to have a look at the startups. And this is our way how we try to make this kind of co-creation lab, so that also decision makers out of the city really get to know new ways of dealing with issues. We have many perfect examples already where startups brought innovation into the management of the city. But we want to go a step further, and this is also my experience from the international startups we are welcoming here. They really look for the decision makers who can implement things and pilot things, and this is what we try very hard to do. Not just tell them that Vienna is the city with the best quality of living, but that there are
Mhm.
really decision makers who are interested in new innovative solutions and to connect and match them.
Perfect.
Yeah. As example, well, as I said before, we're working funded by the European Union, who is also a public entity that's giving a lot of money from the Horizon 2020, of course. We are offering services to two different programs, working and collaborating with other ecosystem builders, of course. So that's collaboration is always a main or core value of our company. But a little bit to go a little bit ahead because we don't have that much time left, I think. I just
Mhm.
wanted to also highlight one of the programs that we're taking and that we think that it's going to be the future of the collaboration of governments and startups, because little by little, well, the hubs are going to get more developed and they're going to get more mature. So we think that hopefully at one point the government influence or the government involvement will gradually get less important. However, it is true that the governments have challenges of their own. So they have challenges related with the digital transformation, with ecosystem sustainability, with efficiency of the services and all those kind of things. So one of the things that we think is the future and what we're betting in is to help the government collaborating with startups themselves. So not only supporting in a way, but also being able to solve their challenges through the collaboration with startups. And we're doing this right now with the Ministry of Justice and Security for the Dutch government. So this is one of the first times it's done in the Netherlands, and we're very proud of it and of this program, because we really think that, of course, it's something that's happening in the private sector already, but it's something that the public sector should embrace to transform
Yeah.
themselves and improve themselves in that way. And then that will be not only good for the municipality to speed up the process of solving these challenges, but also to keep on helping this kind of cities that that are growing, and the startups that are in the cities and trying to improve
Mhm.
those cities. So
Perfect. I just wanted to also finish it maybe with one funny example of how much sometimes these cities can be connected. So, Gabriel, by any chance, do you know this co-working space called Sector 5?
Sure.
Yeah, so one of my friends, because we were organizing an event with PwC in Vienna, and Flor Dress,
Yeah,
she was the manager of Sector 5,
I know.
and guess where she was working after that?
She
At,
works now. Yeah, that
at
tell me.
Microsoft, but then
I know.
after that, she was working with Anna at the next web.
No, really.
So
Okay, world is
uh,
small.
exactly. So imagine a girl that I know in Vienna, and then she moved from Vienna to Amsterdam to the next web. And this, I mean, that was just a kind of funny example of just trying to see that we don't really even need to see, like, I'm from the Warsaw Startup Ecosystem. I organize events both in Amsterdam and in Vienna. And then at the same time, even a person that is, let's just say, a permanent person in one location, then after that is going to be the permanent person in the other. And that is somehow a way that we can try to understand when municipalities bring a proper foundation for startups, then hopefully we can try to have a better and more clear, let's just say, image. And then let's just say people are not always being in one place. People can always just freely move from one place to the other and find the best interest in the best city. And as I mentioned, I strongly believe that these three cities can even, let us say, have a better potential by being even, let us say, closer with each other. And again, thanks to partnership that we have in Wolf Summit with the Next Web and also with the Vienna Up, I really hope that we can also try to, bring these cities closer with each other, and let us say, bring three municipalities just to join forces. If you guys want to have one last I can also say one more thing, because as an agenda manager of Wolf Summit, so I can also bring 3 more minutes for us, just just to prove myself that I'm still the agenda manager. So if you guys want to have one last sentence, that would be good.
No, I totally agree with you. I think we have to join forces. Europe as a place is complex enough, so we have to join forces in order to really improve the situation for startups here in Europe and also for external startups coming to Europe. This is our potential, and I think focusing then on sustainability also, and we call it digital humanism. So technology, the technology is here for society and us people, and not for just money and technology itself. This is the key vision for us in Vienna, and I think if we can bundle here our forces, I would appreciate a lot.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, I completely agree. One quick thing, yeah, I'm open to all collaborations. So we have a lot of different initiatives in with startups, with kind of ecosystem builders. So we're creating a lot, and we're trying, especially in these times, to help each other as much as possible in our network. So please, if you're watching this and you need any help, or if there's something that we can do for you, just feel free to kind of contact me. I'll be in the Wolf Match sessions and also on LinkedIn. So feel free to do so, and then we can start a conversation on how we can collaborate and help each other.
Perfect. Okay, I think let's just say definitely 20 minutes was not enough just to like touch all the bases, especially because like we're basically talking about 3 different organizations that every single one of them had like 5 different brands. But let's just say that was the door opening, and at the same time, I know that both of you are very open to communication with the startups. So hopefully they will see your names and credentials, and we also make sure that this video is going to be live later on. And if anybody would like to, they just say have more content, we try to put the content and the contact addresses in a way that they can contact you after that. So again, I would like to say thank you for giving us your time, and at the same time sharing your information with our audience. And with that, let's just say that we can try to pass this to the next part. I think we're going to have a quick break, and then we'll get back in half an hour. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.